The one thing you have to have, I don't care what kind of business it is, you need a customer, right? What do you have if you don't have a customer? That's the number one thing. And if I had a blackboard, I'd put it in huge letters, okay? Now what is I won't ask you more questions, but what does the customer give us that we need? Customers give us orders, right? You could say orders, nobody said it, but I don't think that's as important as a customer, because an order does not give you a reorder. And only a customer can. So that means you have to satisfy the customer after you get them. To be sustainable, you need to have customers keep coming back. And by the way, customers are your cheapest form of advertising, because if they're satisfied, they'll give you word of mouth. Yes?
When you say customers, do you distinguish between the end user and the...
Somebody who's going to buy and pay you.
Got it.
That's what I mean. Okay. So now what's the process of getting customers to give you orders? It's not a trick question.
Yeah, to satisfy their needs, they need to be aware of the problem, of course, and they need to be reachable within their budget as well.
No, it's another one-word answer.
Good advertising.
What?
Advertising yourself in the phone.
Mm-hmm. There are a lot of people that don't have money, budgets for it, yes?
Trust that you're going to deliver.
What?
Trust that you're going to deliver a good product.
Well, that's not the process of getting orders.
Selling?
Selling. Yes, that's what selling is about. Okay, and that's what I'm trying to get to you. Because when I say selling, my guess is that 50% at least in the room are very uncomfortable doing it themselves. I'll hire someone to do the selling. I don't have the. I hate to break the news, but there is no selling gene. Okay? Anybody can sell. It's a skill that can be acquired and learned, but it's essential. And I say anybody who starts a business, the person, the founder, should be active in selling, and you can learn it. I'm not going to do a tutorial right now on selling, but it's very important. You got to understand how important it is. Basically, you don't realize it, but you've been selling all your life. And my definition of selling is persuading someone to take an action that's favorable not only to you, but to the person giving it to you. Some people only worry about themselves, but then you won't have reorders again. So you're trying to persuade someone to take a favorable action. Okay, when you were born, right, and you couldn't talk, you screamed. And then your mother came in and brought you milk or comforted you. And you learned real quick. You want to sell your mother and come in and scream. And then when you started to talk, it was please, all the stuff. And then you really got into selling when you started to date. Now, what is dating? You're trying to persuade someone that you're really a good person. And it goes on and on. Now, if I said negotiating, then people sign up for that. They want to take a course on negotiating. But negotiating is selling. You're trying to persuade a party to your point of view and take action on it. So you must sell to be successful, in my opinion. And if you're not going to do it, then you better get good people to do it. The problem is it's very hard in a startup to hire a skilled, experienced salesman because you can't afford them. Could get good reps, but we don't have time to go into the whole rep situation where someone sells for you on a variable cost basis. You only pay them a commission. In fact, so I look at to me, I try to simplify things in my head. I got selling, which leads to customers, which leads to orders, and orders lead to money. So those four words to me is like an anatomy of a business. And everything you talk about fits one of them. Okay? Advertising is an important element, okay, in getting the customer to buy, to let people know you have the product and you exist. Almost anything you do, every job somehow relates to those four words. But I just want you to get involved in selling. And I know a number of you are juniors. You still got another year, at least a year of school here. I mean, my advice in the summer job, which I think is really important for learning, is to get a job selling. And I don't care what business you go in, even if you don't go to business, you're going to be involved where you're trying to sell. You're trying to sell someone to give you a raise. You're going to be an engineer. You're going to be a scientist. You got a theory. You're trying to sell people that this is a legitimate theory and it will work. Wherever you go, you're trying to persuade people all the time. And then when you have kids, then you really got a selling job. But I just want to emphasize how important it is. And then all the things we do and we discuss is always built around the customer. That's who really counts.